Okay, let's talk about how to build emotional resilience so you don't quit on yourself. So be honest. How many times have you started something, felt inspired, hit a bump, and then found yourself saying, well, forget it. Maybe it's just not meant to be for me. Or maybe you had a plan, you had the motivation, and then life threw you many curveballs. And so you got tired, discouraged, overwhelmed. And suddenly the thing that once felt so exciting and important to you now feels like it's impossible. If that is you, if that's resonated with you, this video is for you because emotional resilience isn't about pushing harder. That's what you need to understand. It's about learning to stay with yourself when things get hard, okay, without giving up on yourself and your dreams. And so, if you have struggled in the past to keep on going, that doesn't mean that you lack discipline or drive. It simply means that you're trying to move forward with an empty tank and your nervous system was not built for constant stress or pressure or expectation. It needs like quiet, rest, recovery, regulation, compassion. The same way that any muscle needs rest in order to grow, you've got to be making sure that you're doing that for yourself. And so, quitting on yourself is very rarely about laziness. Sometimes we're just emotionally exhausted and we get to the point where our inner capacity simply cannot hold on to any more disappointment, failure, or unmet expectations. And before you judge yourself for this, just take a deep breath because you do not need to be harder on yourself. What we need is to be kinder, okay? Kinder to ourselves. That is how we are going to get through the hard moments in life. And most people actually think that resilience means like being strong no matter what. But real resilience has nothing to do with like never breaking. It's about knowing how to bend without snapping. It's about feeling the wave of emotions. I've always said we're going to experience negative emotions in life: doubt, frustration, sadness, disappointment. Okay, all of those emotions are normal. You can't avoid them. But it's about learning how to ride those negative emotions and not drown in them. Because quitting doesn't happen in like one big moment. It happens in those small moments when discomfort like meets self-doubt and there's no inner safety to like to hold you through it. And so what I want to say is like you don't have to get tougher. You need to become a safe space for yourself. Someone that you can rely on, that your future self can rely on when life gets heavy, because guess what? It will. It's a part of life. Ups and downs, highs and lows, all normal. And so here's what's really happening when you lose motivation or you just can't stay consistent. Your brain is like equating that discomfort with danger. And whenever you experience negative emotions, let's just say rejection, criticism, slow progress, like it's life circumstances, uncertainty, your body and your mind is looking for like relief. And guess what? Quitting often gives us instant relief. And so your brain is learning, oh, stopping means safety. It's okay. Nothing bad's going to happen when I quit on myself. But that pattern, if you do it over and over again, it will become a pattern if you do it every single time it gets uncomfortable. You start to like equate quitting with being a good thing. But to break that cycle, you need to rewire that response. You've got to teach your brain that discomfort isn't danger, it's growth. I've always said, like, the secret to success is to get comfortable with the discomfort because you can't avoid it. To step outside your comfort zone, you've got to experience discomfort. And you can create emotional safety, and you will create emotional safety, not by removing challenges, okay? Because we cannot ever avoid challenges, obstacles, and hurdles in our life. They're part and parcel of like growing in life. But you can create emotional safety for yourself by holding yourself gently through those moments. That's actually true emotional resilience. The ability to stay kind and calm and connected to your purpose, even when life is hard. And so that's all it is. Emotional resilience is your ability to experience discomfort and challenges and all the things, still stay grounded, still stay compassionate, still stay connected to yourself. It's not about being unbothered or invincible. It's about being able to bend without breaking, being flexible, understanding that big normals are normal, negative emotions are normal, facing those setbacks and moving forward with self-trust rather than abandoning yourself when something is important to you. And if you are someone who is, emotionally resilient, it's not that you suppress your emotions, you feel them. You don't pretend everything's fine when it's not fine. You're just the truth. You allow yourself to feel and honor yourself and process and recover. You calm yourself down when you're triggered. You reframe setbacks, which are normal, with perspective, and you return back to the alignment faster every single time you're knocked off course. Because life is going to be hard at times, but you don't ever collapse into, well, I can't do this. You just shift to, this is hard, okay, but I know I can support myself through it. This is hard. You're not trying to like pretend that it's not, but you can support yourself through it. And so, what it looks like in real life to be emotionally resilient is to respond instead of reacting when something upsets you. Let yourself rest without guilt when you feel depleted. Give yourself compassion instead of criticism whenever you make a mistake. And keep like really firm boundaries when even if other people don't approve of it, if you know it's best for you. And just continue to show up for your goals even when progress is feeling slow, going slow. Because I always say it, like, it's often the time when you most want to quit that the seeds are like, taking root underneath the surface. And true resilience is nothing to do with like never falling apart. It's about knowing how to gather yourself again, picking yourself back up gently, kindly, and with a deep faith that you can handle whatever comes your way. And so, just a quick reminder, okay? Being resilient isn't about being so tough, cold. It's nothing to do with cold or unfeeling. Strength is learning to stay soft and steady in the storms. And discomfort is a sign of expansion. Understand that. It's not a sign of failure. Okay? If you're feeling uncomfortable about doing something, you're probably growing in some way. If you're stretching into something new, discomfort means you're growing. It's not a sign of anything going wrong. And you're allowed to feel your feelings without letting them decide anything for you. Emotions are like data. Okay? It's not like I'm sad. It's like I'm experiencing this feeling. This experience made me feel that particular thing. Or I had that experience, but you can honor those emotions that come up for you without feeling like you've got to now like go and react in an angry way, in a frustrated way. You had the feeling, you're a human, and that's okay. How do you want to think and feel about the situation moving forward? Decide. And remember, rest is also a resilience. Okay, it's not a weakness. Your capacity will expand through recovery, through taking breaks. Like, you've got to take breaks to stay in the game. You really do. Okay, no one is an energizer bunny that can go without eventually just collapsing. And as I alluded to before, slow progress still counts. You do not have to take big leaps to prove your strength. Consistency in small ways every day just is a thing that builds real resilience. And remember, you can do the hard things very kindly. Gentleness with yourself doesn't mean that you are like a wuss or that you're giving up. It's about creating space for yourself and safety for yourself that will encourage you to keep on going. Because I think that we all know that every storm eventually passes. Resilience grows when you stop believing that negative emotions are bad or whatever. No feeling lasts forever. Okay, it passes. And the pace that you're walking at doesn't define your worth in any way. Okay, rushing drains resilience. Be willing to move slowly with intention. That's what you need to do. Slowly with intention. And self-compassion will always keep you going even when your motivation fades. You don't have to be constantly motivated. That's impossible. You just need a kinder inner voice that says, we can try again tomorrow. Okay? We can try again tomorrow. And so whenever you are feeling a little bit weak or like as if you feel like giving up when a moment is hard, just recognize it when it's happening. Just note it. I feel overwhelmed right now. I feel really disappointed. I feel scared. Okay, naming the emotion is going to lower its intensity. And then regulate your body. Take a deep breath, move, stretch, cry, step outside. Your nervous system can't like process logic when it's flooded. Just calm yourself down first, think later, and then you go to the reframe. You can always ask yourself, what's this moment trying to teach me right now? Shift away from like, why is this happening to me? Like at this victim mode. First, and you can move over to, how will this grow me? What do I have to learn from this moment right now? You cannot control all the events in this world. It's impossible, but you can shape the meaning. What do you want to walk away with? You experience whatever that crappy hard thing was. What did you learn from that experience? And then recommit. Come back to your why. Come back to why you are, chasing particular goals. Ask like, who are you doing this for? What do I want to remember about myself after this hard season? Do you want to just be someone who had your own back and was kind to yourself? And then recommit. Okay, that is a thing that builds quiet trust in yourself. So my challenge for you this week is just notice one area where you have felt tempted to quit, whether it's a habit or a project or a dream or whatever it is. And instead of giving up, pause and ask yourself, why? Why do I want that? Take a deep breath. Be honest with yourself. Okay, just this little 5 minutes of, or even 5 seconds of returning to your intention. Remind your brain why it's worth staying, why you want to stay. Because every time you don't quit on yourself, you build evidence that you can trust yourself to stay the course. And if you want that gentle support building your self-trust, I've created a free guide called The 5 Thought Shifts to help you finally take aligned action, get out of your own way. It's going to help you rewire your mindset so you can move forward even on the days where it feels hard. You can find the link in the description. And of course, if you want deeper support, I welcome you inside Inspiring Life Academy that includes lifetime access to all 90 courses and coaching roadmaps that I've ever created in my business. All the links are in the description, but as always, zero pressure. I just care about you succeeding. So tell me in the comments, what is one area where you are choosing to stay, where you're willing to face the hard stuff in life? Knowing that you can cope, you can handle hard stuff. It's not about trying to pretend that it has to be easy. You can cope with the hard stuff in life. Because remember, resilience is not about never failing. It's about always returning back to yourself. You can do the hard stuff. You can. Gently, bravely, and without ever abandoning who you are. Take care. I will catch you in the next video.